Van Boening!
Good morning, sir. Gentlemen, you may lag for break. Mr. Yapp wins the lag.
Mr. Yapp wins the lag and will break. And this match starts in just a few minutes. On table one, plenty of action around the tables as well. Let's go, everyone. We ready? Yeah! Let's break!
Rack number one, Mr. Yapp to break.
Double elimination is gone. This is single elimination. High wire, international pool, without a safety net. You lose, that's the end of your dream.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. And, you know, as cold as it may be, one of these matches is going to go down that way, one or two early, where either could win, but one's got to go. But I think all 16 are pretty happy to be in this spot. Got a chance at what I think is pool's biggest prize. Always the toughest field. It seems like the largest field, the U.S. Open 9-ball championships, and you got to be impressed with this young man right here.
They're very impressed with him back home in Singapore. He's been making headlines in the Straits Times, the famous newspaper over there.
Well, I think you're going to see that for some time to come. Wow, what a shot to start. What is the final 16, the first shot after the break, a rail first with some draw at a light speed. So if that shows you anything about the nerves and comfort for Aloysius Yapp, I'll tell you what, Shane may have his hands full.
I've been calling him erroneously, like you, Jeremy, Aloysius, but it is Aloysius. And that's a German word the derivation of which is famous warrior. He's certainly been that this week, and he's playing the most famous warrior in the world of international pool.
Yeah, Shane trying to get that 6th U.S. Open, and really he's just dedicated himself tremendously the last several months, 3-4 months, putting in a lot of time practicing. And, you know, he'd tell you for many matches he plays in a lot of tournaments, but you got to think he was eyeing this prize a few months ago in preparation. This table here has really lent itself to all kinds of matches, but it seems like someone gets a big lead, you know, 3 out of 4 matches maybe. Now that's the one most impressive thing about Aloysius at a young age, is really how he controls the white ball, and along with many decisions, makes a lot of great decisions behind his playing. And like I said, at such a young age in international competition, you can tell he's nervous, but he's loving it.
The 25-year-old shining star of Singaporean Q Sports takes the first rack, and it's a break and run out. Aloysius Yapp, what a player he is. And Shane Van Boening now, if he didn't know before, which I'm sure he did, he knows he's in one almighty battle. Great scene here at the Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Shane Van Boening trying to create history. He's made history in this tournament many times before, now trying to go one step further and get to the top of the mountain in terms of all-time winners of the US Open. Currently, he's tied with Earl Strickland on 5 victories in this fine tournament. Can he make it a 6th? The 5 wins, by the way, for Van Boening came in a 9-year span from 2007 to 2016. So you could say he's had a 5-year drought.
Yeah, it's amazing. He won it all kinds of ways, coming
Rack
from the one-loss
number 2.
side, of course, from the winner's side.
1-0 in favor of
some
Mr.
great
Yapp.
players, of course. One of them still left in the tournament, Dennis Erculo, who he beat twice. I think he's going to be a tough guy later today. We've got 3 other matches going on, and we'll give you scores as they move on. But I'll tell you, that right side rail, it's really lent to a lot of breaking runs in this tournament so far on the TV table. And now we had Aloysius, who opened up with one and has another shot on the 1 ball to maybe continue that.
He is a world champion. He won the World Junior title for 9-ball in Shanghai in 2014. The same year, he won the Asian Junior Championship. He's got pedigree, and over the last few months, he's really come into his own.
And not only that, trying to represent and do a lot in his country for the sport. And I'll tell you, this finish right here, along with, if he furthers his place in the tournament, go a long ways in Southeast Asia and Singapore for 9-ball pool. He's going to have to take a long shot, it looks like, on the 3. Oh, he got a lot out of the cue ball there. I thought he was going to be at least a foot further away, and now in a pretty good spot. He's going to have to collide with either the 5 or the 8, it looks like. Not sure he can get by those, getting on that pink 4. Now, Yapp, just like most, were in Vegas for a couple weeks,
please.
and he was tied for 3rd in the world 10-ball just right before this, so he's used to some big moments already.
Yeah, he was beaten in the semi-finals there, 10-8, by the eventual winner, Eklund Kachi, in a remarkable match, because at 3-1, play had to be suspended for around 2 hours because of a violent thunderstorm that knocked out the power.
Yeah, not something you're going to see very often in Vegas, but it was like 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it really came from nowhere. So we had a little timeout there, but it didn't affect either one of those two. They went on to play great, and of course, Kachi won the tournament. Surprised he didn't make the final 16, but that just shows you how tough this event is. There's a lot of guys that could have won this event that are spectating here today. One thing you got to like about Yapp is, you know, it seems like he uses the clock very well also, Phil. A lot of guys getting a little bit of a hurry. You can see him kind of rushing, and it seems like to me he's right in the pace he wants to be, and you got to like his chances. Keep breaking the balls well.
I think the mark of a great player is always the rhythm they have. He's not too hurried. He's not too slow either. Plays at a perfectly sustained pace.
Yeah, and you can tell it's his rhythm. That's the beauty, that not really the moment or the format, anything involved is getting him out of what he likes to do. And I think you've heard it in his interviews that, you know, very concerned about himself, and that's really the mentality you need.
2 break-in run-outs. Aloysius Yapp leads Shane van Boening 2-0. That's the 8 ball. The 9 was very simple. He has gone deep in a World 9-ball championship before in the UAE in 2015, got to the quarterfinals. So trying to match that with victory here today, but he's definitely a more rounded player now, 6 years on, than he was then.
Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt, knowing the young man, that he remembers most everything about that event. And also 2 years ago, I believe, if I remember correctly, he was a Final 16 player in the U.S. Open, the last U.S. Open he had at Mandalay Bay, along with, I think, Ruiz was in there. I'm trying to look at the Final 16 that we have now. Not sure there were many other customers from that tournament that are left in this one. Shane, I believe.
Bracket number 3, our current score is 2-0 in favor of Mr. Yapp. Mr. Yapp to break.
I think if I heard right, yesterday he ran 7 racks on filler to beat him some 11-3.
Well, I watched some of that match, and I'll tell you what, he played very, very solidly. I wasn't commentating on the main table, so I was walking around and looking at the outside tables, and yeah, he gave Filler a taste of his own medicine. It was actually 11-4.
Yeah, it was another lefty that put on a performance to knock Filler out of the event, Fortunsky, who was a guy that said it years ago, probably one of the most talented that I've seen come out of Europe, along with like a Filler, very similar. Cueing great, hits the ball well. It was just a matter, I think, of a Fortunsky maturing a little bit. Definitely a guy that can win. I'll tell you, Yapp's in line to run his third.
Unbeaten in the tournament. 5 wins out of 5. The only real scare he had was against one of Fortunsky's fellow countrymen in his 3rd match. He was nicely ahead against Wojciech Szewczyk. Szewczyk came back to force a deciding rack, but when the chips were down, Yapp delivered.
Yeah, and smart shot here, getting nice and heavy on the pink to play the purple in the side. Lots would have played an angle to come around for the purple in the corner, but simple pull really holds up, especially when the pressure is high. Someone was asking me last night, I think, was there like 24 left? who do you like to win the event? I told him I think it may be a lot easier for me to pick who I maybe don't like to win the event from here. So many great players left. Okay, he's got to make a little shot on the 8, and the cue balls. He's got to really make a decision on which path he wants to take with the cue ball. Just a calm stroke every time, and I tell you, doesn't seem like we're going to have any big mistakes from Yapp. Might have a missed ball, but nothing major.
Big occasion, and opponent's reputation can get inside a player's head, but Aloysius Yapp looks as though he's involved in a practice session. 3-0 up, and Shane Van Boening not back to the table since the lag. How about this? What a start of the day for the young Singaporean. Mario He, 2-1. Rodrigo Geronimo, a California-based Filipino. He leads Dennis Graber from Estonia, 2-0. And Maximilian Lechner from Austria. He's 3-0 up on Mieszko Fortunski.
Tell you, Phil, everything agreeing so far. Little kisses. He's made the one on the break. He hasn't made the one on the break. Getting a shot on the 2 and then taking full advantage. And we talked about at the Mosconi Cup for a couple years how important that lag is and how the lack of winning some lags can really cost you. And that's what I see here on this main table. That the lag has been something to profit off of.
And Van Boning's lag wasn't bad at all, was it? It was just that Yapp's was tiny little bit better.
Yeah, the guy's really been putting some racks together from that side rail break. Now, the one thing I haven't noticed, and I can't believe I haven't, have we gone to the wooden rack, to the triangle?
Well, I can tell you what, if you're thinking about solving the mystery of the break, we've just seen it there. The golden break over on table 4 from Max Lechner. We've not seen too many of those, but the rack is over in the minimum number of shots.
Well, I like, especially with the referee racking, I like the 9 counting on the break. Some events we play, it doesn't. I like the oohs and ahs and the chance of a little luck, a little prosperity off of a little luck. He's fallen a little short here, so not too tough of a shot, but one when the nerves are high, you got to really concentrate. Can't take it for granted. Should just screw the cue ball to the rail and then back out to the center of the table. And there really hasn't been many balls like wobble in, catch the rail. It's really been center pocket so far for Yapp, and he's getting, near the halfway point of this match without Shane having a chance to get that right arm loose. Not going to make much of a difference for Shane unless maybe he comes to the table with a very difficult shot to start. Okay, he can play 2 rails here. He can play 1 rail, kind of a soft second rail, real very mild like that, just sliding down towards the 9.
Yeah, perfect application of running side, and the beat goes on. Aloysius Yapp, 4-0 up on Shane Van Boening. This is perfect pool so far. And I suppose, in many respects, Van Boening is well equipped to be able to deal with this because he knows this is retrievable after what happened to him last night against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Van Boening was sent to the 1-loss side of the draw after running the first 5 racks. Ended up being beaten 11-6 by the Spaniard. As we see Dennis Okolo knocking a 9 ball there against Mario He to take a 3-1 lead.
And Mario was at the table there. It looked like in control. Couldn't quite see what was going on just by his mannerisms. And Wade Dennis got down and shot that 9 ball. Maybe a big mistake there by Mario in game number 4. We'll see how that plays out. Like you said, Phil, a lot of racks being run here. And it is possible to come back. We saw it from Ruiz. But, you know, that took a little bit of help from Shane yesterday to get that going for Ruiz. So we'll see what Yapp can do to keep that from happening. And now on to
Rack
game
number 5. Our current score is 4-0 in favor of Mr. Yapp. Mr. Yapp to break.
Nice to hear the dulcet tones of our referee, John Lehman. He's been working hard this week as the tournament director. Now he's out there in the main arena.
Oh, this will be interesting here. I don't think he can get at the 1 for the upper left-hand corner. It's very close. He definitely has a long rail bank. He chooses. He's got kind of a funny shot. Now he's looking to maybe he can pocket this ball, but it doesn't appear so to me. He's got a shot to bank the 1 down. He's got to cut it a little bit and then hold the cue ball behind the 3-4. Oh, well, he's looking to maybe pocket this 1 and must have to apply a lot of right side spin to be able to throw this ball in. I think naturally he can't get on the spot to make the 1. I think tester here. Oh, he's not slowing down, Phil.
Well, the turning point in the Shane Van Boening defeat by Sanchez Ruiz was when he missed a 1 ball at 5-0. We thought the 1 ball might scupper Yapp there. Most certainly not. And he's looking good again.
Yeah, well, like I said, for a young man, he really has a great mind for the cue ball and how to keep it as simple as possible. And then, like all the great players, being able to come with a shot. And that's what's so impressive by all these players is, you know, they play such great shape. They don't have to make a lot of tough shots through many games. But then when a tough shot comes about, they're able to regroup and usually knock it in. But so far, it's really been like the cue balls on a string, Phil.
Well, it's great to see. You know, he's part of the Sports Excellence Scholarship in his native Singapore. And this is sports excellence.
Yeah, in Singapore, after high school, they have to do a service for the country, 2 years of either, you know, military, fireman, nurse. You know, there's all kinds of different things you can do. And I think the country did pull and their country a big favor by letting Aloysius, excuse me, pass on that 2-year service just to play some international pool. And well, he's really shown his country proud.
Yeah, he first played the game at the age of 8. He was entranced watching it on TV. And now, 17 years later, he's the one on TV.
Yeah, he and I have spent a little time together having a good mutual friend, and he told me the same thing, that he just happened to flick it on TV one day, and he was just really kind of amazed that you could play pool for a living and at such a high level, and now for a 5-0 lead.
Well, it's not Hawaii 5-0, it's Yapp 5-0. But I'll tell you what, Shane Van Boening will be very concerned indeed. It's not just the scoreline, it's the way it's been achieved. Yapp monopolising table time. Van Boening needs to dig himself out of a very deep hole. But, of course, when you're in your seat, you are completely powerless, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right. As you know, as much as Shane has really taken advantage of winter break and dominated the pool world for some time behind it, it's getting the best of him now. And another 5-0 scoreline, Lechner over Fortunsky at 5-0. And I think Fortunsky's another guy that has that talent to hit another level. not only snapped this tournament off, but I think you're going to see a bunch of wins from him. But Legner putting it on him at the moment.
We just saw Yapp's route to this stage. This is Van Boning's. Of course, he suffered a defeat against Sanchez Ruiz, but boy, did he come back powerfully against Albin Auschen, winning 11-2.
Our current score is 5-0
Yeah,
in favor of Mr. Yapp.
I don't think he sweats it
Mr.
too
Yapp,
often. He really just kind of maintains, but maybe a little worried, just wondering when he's going to get a chance at the table for that 6th title. He's got to win this match. It's single elimination in the final 16. Well, now a 2-9 combo that, especially with the 3-7 kind of tying up, I don't think Yapp will pass. And like I said, everything kind of working out. Sometimes making the 1 in the side, sometimes not. The 2's agreeing when he does. I think he's got to go for this combo, no doubt. Favorite to make it, no hanger, but he's got to shoot.
It's missable, most certainly, but I think the odds are in his favour.
Well, here we go. We're going to hear it from the crowd, Phil. Happy to see their guy get a chance at the table. Nothing easy for Shane, and this was maybe what I was concerned about a little bit after sitting. Depends on what type of shot you come to the table with first. It looks like to me he has a little angle to maybe pop the 2 in and get into the 3-7, or he may roll this in and play a 3-7 combo.
It's a foul. Shane.
Yeah.
Shane. It's a foul.
That was a
ran out.
time foul. The time ran
Didn't
out,
say
and he didn't
extension.
ask for his extension.
I didn't hear extension. Did you hear extension, Rob? I heard no call, Shane. I did not hear. Rob, did you hear extension? I did not hear extension. Replay it for me, please.
Controversy
With
in Atlantic
audio.
City. We need to replay this audio because Shane Van Boening, who's a straight shooter, he's adamant. He said extension.
I think Yapp is confirming.
Let me look at it.
Not sure why he has to go any further if Yapp has agreed that he did hear Shane call extension.
I need
audio. We need audio.
Now, the one thing is Shane didn't come up off the ball to announce extension, that's for sure. Or at least I didn't see that.
Well, from my point of view, as the time clock was running down, I was thinking this could be a time foul. I didn't hear extension either. But, of course, we're a considerable distance away from the table.
Yeah, and the one thing is, Shane turns his hearing aids off during the match usually, but I've never seen him really have a problem with calling that extension when needed. So a little drama here early. Something I don't think we've seen.
Well, very sportsmanlike from Yapp to say no problem.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see that from time to time when there's a foul called by a referee when, I wouldn't say obviously it wasn't, but maybe the knowledge of the player realized it wasn't a foul, and you'll see a player say, no, that was a good hit.
John, I look at the board at 16 seconds and I said extension.
Okay, so he said extension before he got down on the ball, long before those beeps.
If you did do, we'll see it on here. Okay.
Now what Shane's got to do is he's got to regroup. I can tell he's a little frustrated here. He said at 16 seconds is when he
Guys,
said
please
it.
be quiet. Quiet, please.
We need it from the start of the curve, is it? Right, yeah.
I was going to say, I get the feeling that it's almost like a new tournament with the final 16 here, Phil. Like there's some high nerves anyways. A lot of pressure.
What I will say is that Van Boening is a good guy. He's not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Let's see if he says this.
Well, that was long before 16, though. He said at 16 he looked back at the clock and called extension, so I'm guessing that's long before what we're just seeing on the screen now.
Yeah, we definitely need to go much further back.
I think Shane's informing him now of when I said extension.
Here's the whole piece.
I said it when I turned. I said it when I turned. When I turned over the table, that's when I said it.
Foul.
Well, I have to say from that evidence, I didn't hear anything at all.
No, I didn't really see any lips move either.
So is Aloysius saying that he has
No, Aloysius is saying he'll give it to him.
Oh, okay. So Yapp didn't really confirm.
Okay, relax. Hold on.
Maybe that
Can I see it just
he
one more
did say
time?
extension, but he,
Just one more time.
from what John just said, maybe
one more time.
Aloysius said that he can continue.
John Lehman doing the right thing here for me. Just getting that replay one more time.
So we're going a little further with this.
Right from the start.
Don't know about you, Jeremy, although I think it's very sportsmanlike from Yapp to say, yes, you carry on, no problem. I think you have to abide by the rules.
Absolutely. Absolutely. From the footage I saw, I'm not sure that anything could say that Shane definitely said extension.
One thing I'm sure, Shane Van Boening thought he'd said it.
Yeah.
But whether he said it or not, that's a completely different thing.
I agree with that. Like you said, he's a good guy. He's not going to ever try and manipulate the rules or take advantage of the rules. The one thing that maybe Yapp is being explained to is the only way he could really let him carry on is maybe just kind of fouling and giving up ball in hand is the only way. I don't know otherwise if the rules and the referees are going to allow this to happen.
Just watch it. Just watch it.
So let's watch this now
Okay.
in silence.
Sorry, Emily, we're just about to get to the bit that we... Right, so that's been changed.
He looks around and he says nothing.
Yeah, and then when he's down on the ball again, he looks kind of back, but I don't really see anything said, like right here, right there. And that's right at the 5-second call, so.
Okay. Foul. All right.
Yeah.
Shane. Reset the shot clock to 30, please.
Okay, looks like Shane's going to stay at the table, so. Not sure what kind of information we'll get you on this. But we'll do our best and we'll carry on at 5-0.
I think that's down to Yapp's sportsmanship. I really do.
I agree, and he's going to try and pop this in going into the 3-7 with the cue ball. I'll tell you what, after trailing 5-0 and going through, a 5-minute delay right there, what a shot. Yeah, didn't like the way that looked. Cue ball carried pretty quickly there, with the cue ball so close to that 3 ball. He's just got to give this one a rip here, try and luck a ball in.
Well, he looks upset, Van Boening. No wonder. Not a pleasant incident.
Well, he's got to regroup once he gets his chance, but Yapp's got to do it immediately, being now at the table. Hasn't really made a mistake. Had a little delay there. Looks like he's spinning this in. Yeah, I would think twice about this. I might have to take my chances going up and down the table. The soft spin with a heavy side is very difficult from this distance, especially on a table you may not be so comfortable with. I think I run the cue ball. Even around the 8 is okay. No, he's going to play the drag shot. Heavy right side spin. Kind of see the cue ball turn over about halfway there. Oh, he knocked it in. Shane, I saw him shaking his head over there a little bit. Kind of let that go, because after all that, Phil, he did get down and make one heck of a shot on the 2 ball, so he was in position to get on the board. Just not what he wanted on the 3.
Shane Van Boening knew he wanted an extension there, but did he say extension? That's what will be the debate today. We didn't hear him. We didn't see him say extension. So maybe that was a touch of karma. Yapp getting back to the table. He was very sportsmanlike to allow Van Boening to play his shot. But I'll tell you what, it is all one-sided. Whatever you think of that incident, Aloysius Yapp leads Shane Van Boening, would you believe, 6-0. That no one could have forecasted. Aloysius Yapp 6-0 up on Shane Van Boening. Yapp broken round the first 5 racks, but of course when the story of this match is retold in years to come,
Mr. Yapp to break.
Inevitably we'll all be talking about rack 6.
That's right, and it may make us overlook what Yapp has done so far in this match. And I'll tell you one thing that I brought up a moment ago, but then we got into the extension drama there, is we're no more with the template. Now it's the triangle we're using, and it doesn't seem like it's slowing the players down on the break on this table. Haven't really got to see much of the outer tables and how they're breaking, but this table still looks like gin to me.
Quickly talking about the outside tables, Dennis Grabber and Rodrigo Geronimo 3-3. Max Lechner 6-1 up on Mieszko Fortunski. Dennis Okolio 4-3 up on Mario He.
Okay, you can see the chip in on the 2. Just needs to get a decent little angle on the 3 to get to the 4. And off the rail with the cue ball. Probably a little thinner than he wanted. May still be able to roll this ball in. Doesn't want to have to draw this too much if that could get away from him. You can see that the TV maybe doesn't tell us, but it looks pretty thin, so he's going to roll this in. Probably get a little above the pink is all. They actually shaved the pink, so that's going to make things a little more difficult laying the pink on the rail. Good thing for Yapp is the purple's near and the green. That's the most important. Green 6 if it was on that top rail or somewhere or something like that.
Extension, please.
This would be very difficult, but not too tough. Someone asked me who I liked, and again last night I said maybe easier to pick who you think might not win the tournament versus who might win the tournament, but I had to answer, and the three I had down, of course, prior to knowing these two had to play each other, was Dennis Okulo, Shane Van Boening, and Yapp. That's the three I liked.
I'll tell you what, Shane Van Boening doesn't like this scoreline, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, Yapp really with great cue action. Seems like he just barely touches the cue ball. It's a lot of movement, and now 7-0.
(7-0) indeed, Jeremy, and 6 of those racks have been break and run-outs. Unbelievable. The lone American competitor left in the US Open in all kinds of trouble. Now, talking about trouble, here's Michael Bridge and Carl Boys.
Double trouble, Phil.
Hear that? Yeah, I'm staying out of this. 3 tables going on around us, Cole. Have you got the scores?
Yeah, well, it's a tight match other than Max Lechner. Max Lechner's absolutely flying in his match. He's winning 7-1. And not just the US Open at stake, the Europeans are playing for Mosconi Cup place as well, so that's something to think about as well. And the unknown Filipino to us, Geronimo, he's in a tight battle as well, so it's very interesting down here, isn't it?
Very quickly, I want to get your thoughts on what happened. It's kind of irrelevant now, but did you hear anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen the replay. Sort of looked like Shane didn't say extension. He obviously thought he did. I mean, Shane's one of the nicest guys on tour. He's not a cheat. He probably just got caught up in the moment. But I think when Yapp went on to win the rack, you know, the past is the past. It's all done.
But obviously Shane does have hearing problems. He does look round. He can hear the shot clock, can't he? So
yeah, I just
give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, I just don't think he said it, to be honest. But you know, he obviously thought he did. But like I say, it's not going too good though, is it? 7 down to Yapp.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in the end. It's 7-0 to Yapp. Back to you, Phil.
Well, I thought Carl Boys summed that up perfectly.
He's going to be pinned on the one. I don't think he can get at this. And so here he's going to have to roll out and make the one ball, call a push out, I believe, pocket the one, and try and get the cue ball in a difficult position for the 2. I'm not sure where that is exactly, Phil, but I don't think he can get at the 1. And even if he can, I don't think he can move the cue ball away from there. So like I said, I think he's got to pocket the 3-1. Did you see? Yapp, he kind of jumped when he heard the beeps there after what happened just a couple of games ago. I think he's making a big mistake trying to get at this one ball, I think. I don't see. Can he get in there? Wow.
Well, any kind of contact will knock it in.
John walked away. No concern. I'll tell you, I think if Yapp had caught the 3 first, he'd probably give it up himself, to be honest with you. Picking up the pace a little bit here in rack number 8. Seems like he's getting around the table a little quicker. He's not going to be happy with that. A little flat and cueing over the brown. He's in another good spot here just to draw the cue ball over one rail for the 8.
the glorious unpredictability of sport. If it was 8-0 the other way, you would raise an eyebrow. 8-0, though, for Aloysius Yapp over Shane van Boening. That is truly extraordinary. Could it possibly be a whitewash? Well, he's only 3 racks away from victory. I think it's the one thing we didn't expect this morning, Jeremy. Total blowout so far.
Yeah, it's one thing, you know, big feather in your cap when you beat Shane in any kind of match, right? But something that many can talk about for years to come if you put a goose egg right here in the final 16 of the U.S. Open. And really, Shane hasn't missed a ball. He got snookered on the 3 ball. Made a heck of a shot on the 2 ball prior, but it's been 2 attempts at the table so far and some 8 racks. Feel pretty crazy.
Number 9. Current score is 8-0 in favor of Mr. Yapp. Mr. Yapp to break.
Dry break. I'm not sure if he gave up a shot or not. The 8 ball rattled the corner pocket. A little bit of appreciation for Shane getting at the table, and I think a bit of an appreciation for Yapp putting on a nice little exhibition to start this match. Well, he's taking the extension off of his cue, so that usually means they're either jumping the ball. Well, now he's putting it back on. Maybe he's changing the weight or maybe swerving the ball a little bit. Normally when they take the weight off the back of the cue, it's because they're going to put a little side spin and try and go around the 2. Now Shane could be jumping this ball as well because he's only got a little piece of it. Yeah, he's jumping it. Watch out for that opposite corner for the cue ball.
What a shot, especially in this circumstance.
And he went to the full cue there, really wanting to draw the cue ball. That was a big reason why he didn't pull out the shorter jump cue. Very hard to draw the cue ball with the light jump cue. A lot easier to get over the balls, but all right, so he's got to punch or roll forward. He's got to get somewhat full on this 3 ball to be able to go forward to get on the pink 4. You can see how the table's breaking, and it's the same side that he's had pretty great success so far. So if he can get that first game, you kind of feel like he can put some racks together.
Yeah, let's hope so. He's such a brilliant player to watch. I think the only person in this room who doesn't want Shane van Boening to start motoring is Yapp.
Well, he's got to get these 4 down. Shouldn't be a problem, but he still has to have a lot of good things happen. We expect Shane to make balls on the break, but you know, one situation where he's got to roll out or some balls get tied up, really cutting him off the run out. You know, Aloysius is putting racks together. That's going to slow down a little bit. Never wants to shoot off the rail, especially going into another ball. Pretty big applause here after game number 1 for SVB.
Right on, Jeremy. Right on. Whitewash averted. We didn't think we'd be saying that about Shane Van Boening. Nevertheless, the fact remains he's in a spot of bother times 10, or times 8, to be more precise, because Aloysius Yapp leads 8-1.
Heavy. Watch out, 6 ball. No, he's okay. Remember, it was a straight-in shot that kind of got him yesterday against Ruiz. It was his last mistake when he kind of followed the 8 ball in, trying to manipulate the cue ball. I think he's all right here. I think he has enough angle to draw the cue ball back underneath him and then back over. Still looks pretty loose. Kind of. What's the reason to be tight, right? Trailing 8-0, you might as well stay loose or get loose.
Just a shake of the head. Not quite right on the 7, but the 9 shouldn't pose any great issue. The comeback is on, folks. Shane Van Boening, one of the greatest of all time. We'll have to dig deep, but he is capable. It's 8-3 now, and at his lowest ebb, Van Boening was 8-0 down, remember. The scene is set here, Jeremy, for a potential classic. By the way, on table 4, we've just had another golden break. Max Lechner now leads Mieszko Fortunski 9-4. Here we go. Ooh, 2 in the same match. Funnily enough, I recall Shane Van Boening having 2 golden breaks against Darren Appleton in the World Masters final a few years back.
Yeah, and you're going to see a little bit more of the 9-ball movement now that we're using the triangle versus the template. Shane, who isn't breaking near the speed that he broke the rest of the tournament. A little different location on the cue ball. Not much, just a few inches difference there, but much lighter speed than he did earlier in the tournament, and much more controlled. Even, oh my! This is the other thing he has to dodge. Is the misfortune. We all know the break shot is a bit of gambling. Balls flying all over the cue ball. And one of them got a hold of the white and kissed it back in the corner field.
You could hear the collective disappointment in the crowd, the gasps of horror as the cue ball was moving towards that pocket, its final destination.
And we haven't really seen any poor decisions from Aloysius, but you're not usually going to see that with ball in hand either. Okay. The one shot he's got to get is good on the purple to get back on the green at the top of your screen on that top rail. Right in the middle of that top rail, though. So it usually gives you some options. I'm not sure if he's gotten a little straight here to get to the good side of the purple. It's close. Just draws the cue ball back. Probably wants a nice heavy bounce off this rail near where he's standing. Oh no, he just pulled it. Is that enough? I think it is. Really got to control that white ball. Like a shot like that, easy when the nerves are heavy to overhit that and get straight on the green 6, making it very difficult to get on the 7, or at least good on the 7. Seems like to me, Yapp just has it exactly how he wants it. Our last American player, it looks kind of bad at the moment. Came off a little hot, Phil. He's going to get a tester on the 9. One he should take down, but nothing easy from that small angle going into those tough side pockets.
They've caused so many headaches, haven't they? They're cut brutally. Yapp needs to be so accurate.
Attention, please.
Under pressure. This could be the match right here.
Absolutely right, and a very vocal extension right there to our referee, John Lehman. Shouldn't do much with the cue ball, just a rolling speed on the cue ball. Nothing too light, but definitely not too heavy. Here you just trust what you're looking at. Do what you've been doing. Squeezed it home.
It caught that far jaw. He was concerned as it made its journey towards the pocket, but the 9 ball went in. I have to say, somewhat muted applause, understandably so. Yapp now leads 9-3. He needs 2 more racks to reach the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals of the US Open. It is Maximilian Lechner. He's been the beneficiary of a couple of golden breaks in this match, and this a more conventional 9 ball potted. In it goes, and Max Lechner defeats Mieszko Fortunski 11-4. His hopes of a Mosconi Cup debut soaring.
He's made 3. Cue ball looks pretty open. The 2's going to get tough, but he can see it. So bit of a tester, more of a tester than he's had after the break, that's for sure. And I'll tell you, Lechner had to played really well to beat Fortunski at such a scoreline like that, and first guy into the quarters. Well, he's not taking much time here. He can only get to the left side of the cue ball, so I think he may be taking this on, or he's sizing it up. The problem with the safety is you definitely don't want to hit the left side of the cue ball trying to play safe here on the 2, so this may make him have to shoot at it. And I like him to shoot at it anyways. A little worry of the cue ball maybe getting lost in one of those side pockets, but I think he's supposed to take this on. Now he's running a little short on time.
Extension, please.
Smart play there, because you can see the rack's open. Feel if he buries this 2 ball, comes clean with the cue ball, probably runs out to get to the hill.
He's got here by being decisive. Just wants to commit to this shot fully, whatever he plays.
And he's got to play it at a light speed as well, so tough shot here. He's hit it sweet. Cue ball agrees. What a shot by Yapp. He's falling a little straight here. He's going to have to probably cheat the pocket just to get the cue ball out a little further towards the purple 5 when he draws the cue ball here. Now, he's not really missed a ball or made a mistake, whether it be a tough shot or an easy one. So this type of shot, you don't want to try and cheat the pocket too much, but the pink should catch the rail a little bit. Yeah, like that. Just a smart player at such a young age.
Smart and unruffled.
And he just looks like the player that's not going to have those, big, highs and lows. Of course, the thing about him is plays it so smoothly, you don't really realize what he's doing to you, I think. Now for 10-3.
Shane van Boening, 7 racks adrift. Only 8 remain. He's at the point of no return. Aloysius Yapp needs 1 more to go through. And Shane van Boning's dream of winning a record 6th US Open title is now hanging by the proverbial thread. We saw Max Lechner go through. Well, he will play Denis Okolio or Mario He next. Okolio leading that 7-6 on table 2, which you can watch on the Matchroom YouTube channel. Dennis Grabber and Rodrigo Geronimo, 6-6, a real battle out there on table 3. And by the way, next up on table 4 to replace Lechner and Fortunski, who have finished, it will be Marco Schutter from Holland against Fedor Gorst, the 2019 World 9-Ball champion from Russia.
And for your West Coast and Filipino contingent watching, Rodrigo Geronimo is mostly known by Edgy. He goes by Edgy Geronimo.
Rack number 14. Our current score is 10-3 in favor of Mr.
Break
Yapp.
position, and I'll tell you what,
Mr. Yapp to break on the hill.
He's going to regroup because he knows this is his last time to break here in this match. No reason to back off, keep doing the same things. He's made one. Cue ball got kissed back and kissed in the corner as well. And the golden break. Wow. All kinds of kisses going on. Didn't turn out for Yapp, and we're going to get another look at Shane. See what he can put together. Maybe make some kind of miracle happen.
That's a personal first for me, seeing the scratch and the golden break at the same time. But of course, that gold is tarnished.
Yeah, watch the cue ball gets two or three kisses. The 9 gets 2 or 3 kisses. They both meet at the top end of the table, but would have been one way to end it, that's for sure, for Yapp, and almost deservedly the way he's played. But now Shane, of course, we can see the scoreline, can't afford any mistakes.
So for the uninitiated, tell us what happens to the 9 ball in that instance.
Well, anytime the 9's pocketed on a foul, or on the break anyways, it's spotted. You can see it's kind of connected to the 8, so if it goes on the spot, you put it on the spot. If there's a ball in the way, it goes directly behind the spot as close as you can get it. Now we are playing if the 9 is pocketed at the end of the rack and then there's a scratch, the 9 is not shot. Just a loss of game by the player who scratched. Don't really see any issues here. The 8 does play to the lower left and the 7's on the good side to make things easy. So Shane's supposed to get back to that break shot here shortly.
The ghost is not being given up. Shane Van Boening notches his 4th rack. The only problem, his opponent is already on the hill on 10. What an eventful break-off that was.
Yeah, it's been that same kiss on the cue ball who got Shane earlier. Also got Aloysius there, along with the 9 getting kissed in the opposite upper corner. Looks like Dennis Akulo 8-6 over Mario He. Legner, of course, who's moved on over Fortunsky. Grabe 7-6 over Edgy Geronimo, Rodrigo Geronimo. And obviously here 10-4 down. SVB's got to get it going.
Rack number 15, our current score is 10-5 in favor of Mr. Yapp.
I wonder if he unloads a little more. I doubt it. Well, looks good so far. Don't see many problems. There's a little congestion with the 3 and 6, but the 2 is near, so the 3 in the side, easy option.
Yapp has run 8 racks from the break. Could Van Boening catch lightning in a bottle and finish with his very best pool? You can't completely discount it.
No, not at all. You know, he made a living on putting racks together. And the table definitely serviceable in that manner. Doesn't seem like the guys have to do a whole lot to be making balls on the break. Just have to see if the pool guys allow him to keep the cue ball on the table and then continue to get shots. Of course, you can't afford a mistake, but I don't think you're going to see an easy mistake. You may see something difficult come along and, you know, kind of promote a mistake. But if they lay there to be ran, I think Shane's going to do it. Thing is, Phil, when you get to this situation here, can't lose focus for any moment. Looks like he's going to load up and go 3 rails around the table. It's funny, that's the thing. You can't afford a mistake, but you also have to stay loose. When you need to move the cue ball, it has to be done. Fell on him a little bit. I think he rubbed the 9 a little bit going by, which is going to help him. Tip position came up a little. Wasn't how he wanted to hit the 8, that's for sure.
He's on the precipice of potential defeat, and yet Shane Van Boening was unerring in that rack. This is good stuff.
Across the 1, the 2 should contain the 1 on this end of the table, and the cue ball run back up. Looks like he's going to play the little piece of the 1 here. Don't really see much for cover, though, if you're shaving the 1, unless you just don't move the 1 very much, but hard to do from this distance. He's it's gonna be close. I think he gave up a shot at the 1 here. Shane may have to roll this a bit to hold for the 2. Actually may catch a piece of the 2 coming out with the cue ball. That's the worry I had right there. Feels. Notice how the cue ball just clipped the 2 ball.
Yeah, it might have been just okay had he potted the 1 into the middle of the bag. But
yeah. But the concern from there is the ball kind of pulling a little bit, so you almost always aim to come a little thinner. I was going to say he's got a nice shot here on the 2 to get him behind the 8. The problem here is he has to move the 2 some. You can't just come off the side of the 2 easily and get behind the 8. He has to move the 2 into a bad position as well. Should get this snooker, though, even though touchy. Yeah, nice shot. And the 9's really stopping the 1 rail kick here. So you may see a Yapp tie the 8 up and just concede ball in hand. Put the 8 on top of the 2. I mean, what else are you going to do?
another player is on the hill on table 2. Dennis Acolio 10-6 up on Mario He.
Dennis is a guy that the Euros don't see all the time, but they certainly know how great he is. What a shot. What a shot and a big reward there, it looks like, on a great kick shot from Yapp. May not have left him much on the 2 at all. I think he can get the 2 by the 6 and use the purple to slow the cue ball down to get the snooker. So at a light speed here, just bump the 2 to the rail, get it above the 6. Let the cue ball hold the 4, or hold the cue ball. Excuse me. Looks like to me he's probably coming behind the purple with the cue ball. Pretty natural. Now he's got to worry about moving the 2 too much and maybe giving up a jump shot. That's what I would worry about. No, he went ahead and decided to move it a lot, and a great shot. Shane's up against it, Phil.
Yeah. If he could win this match from here, it would be Houdini-like.
Yeah, jumping a piece of what it looks like 2 balls, the purple and the pink. Needs some fortune. I think he may have cut him off the offensive shot here.
Precious little weakness we've seen from Yapp. Or indeed from Denis Okolio, who has just completed an 11-6 victory over Mario He on table 2.
It's been some time for Dennis, but twice a runner-up to the guy who just shot that kick shot. He may have gotten away with it. It's real close. Twice a runner-up to SVB. I think that was 2012 and 14, maybe. Is that right? Phil has all the info. Steel trap. I think he can cut this in. Can he get by the 8 ball? I think so. If he uses some of the pocket here to pocket the 2, I think he gets by it. Now he couldn't, so he just decided to go with it. He's going to need this to carry some. Maybe to get a cut shot, maybe to get a cross-side bank to end this match and get into the quarterfinals. I think he's going to take this on, Phil.
Well, everything he's decided to do, he's come up with the goods. He's delivered.
Now it looks like a thin cut into the side. He may ricochet off the rail into the purple. We'll see. But first things first is making. Oh, wow. That's going to end our match. And most likely, well, most likely about it, SVB will be on the sidelines and not able to get a hold of that 6th U.S. Open trophy.
That youngster who first watched pool at the age of 8 is now, at the age of 25, looking like a potential champion. And one of the great champions of this sport is about to be defeated. Aloysius Yapp, come on down. That was a breakout performance and a breakout result on the biggest stage that this game has got to offer. It's a shame that Shane van Boening has now departed.